All right, so we're back with Dave Zeiler, our Money Morning kind of resident cryptocurrency expert. I just wanted to do another quick check-in with cryptocurrency. There's been in the past couple of weeks, there's been some big news, big kind of events coming out that could impact the cryptocurrency world. So tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Yeah, well, one thing that's happened this week was that our central banks, both the Federal Reserve and the European Central Bank, are talking about lowering rates, even though the economies are not doing that badly. We're not really in a recession. And what that does is, of course, that weakens the dollar and it weakens the euro, which means that it increases the value of commodities like gold and cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. Because as they go down in value, necessarily these commodities go up in value. So as they continue these kinds of policies, which it looks like they're going to, I mean, if they're doing it now, when a recession does hit, they're going to double down on it. In the long run, that's going to be good for the price of Bitcoin and all the cryptocurrencies. They will go up over time.
And Congress has been getting involved in the crypto space as well. They've, with the Libra hearing last week and some other stuff that you've noted. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, that hearing was very interesting because when Facebook announced it was going to create a cryptocurrency, it basically alarmed people because of Facebook's reputation for privacy. And they're like, all we need is for them to have some sort of cryptocurrency. What's going to happen with that? So, of course, they decided immediately to hold hearings. But what the crypto community got out of it was that a lot of these guys in Congress who were asking questions seemed to know what they were talking about. They asked intelligent questions. They seemed to understand the difference between Bitcoin and the Facebook currency. And they understood that Bitcoin, unlike the Facebook currency, is not centrally controlled. There's no possibility of people monitoring your data and monitoring, what you were doing, what you were buying with it. Whereas that's the major concern with what Facebook might be doing, even if they're not directly controlling it. If there's some consortium of other businesses, and who knows what they would be doing with it. So they saw the distinction between the two, which was very encouraging. And also, the crypto community was just happy that some of these folks in Congress were not negative about Bitcoin. That sure, they didn't like the Facebook coin. Most people in the crypto world hate the Facebook coin as well. But the fact that a lot of these guys in Congress were understanding that Bitcoin could have a very positive effect. There's a lot of potential for the blockchain technology. And this is a far cry from where we were when Bitcoin first kind of burst on the scene back in like 2011, 2012. There were the few guys in Congress who were talking about it were very negative about it. They wanted it to be regulated. They wanted it investigated. Some of them wanted it to be banned. Whereas now, we have guys who not only understand it, there's actually a congressional blockchain caucus who are looking for ways to prevent over-regulation of it. They don't want to stifle the progress and the innovation that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology can bring.
So, in just a sentence or two, how do you think, if at all, will these kind of two factors, the Fed and the ECB adjusting their rates, and then the congressional, getting more involved with cryptocurrencies, how do you think these are going to affect the price in the short term?
Well, in the short term, they won't have too much of an effect on the price, and you can see that because Bitcoin's kind of been bouncing around the 10,000 point for the past couple of weeks. Goes down a few hundred, goes up a few hundred. It hasn't been doing much, hasn't reacted much at all. But what you're going to see is, for the long term, these are important developments because you're going to see continuing weakening of the currencies from the central banks. And as they get weaker, cryptocurrencies are going to get stronger. And those policies have already been in place for years, and they're going to stay in place for years longer. That's only a positive for the cryptocurrencies and the prices of cryptocurrencies. And as far as Congress goes, what you want is, you don't want people in power to be blocking the progress of cryptocurrencies. And that's where that matters too. And it's also kind of a long-term thing. Whereas the more people in Congress get it and understand what's going on, the more open they're going to be to allowing Bitcoin and blockchain and cryptos and giving them space to grow and innovate, letting these companies do what they do best. And in the long term, that will help push the prices higher.
Great. Well, thanks for just kind of keeping us in touch with the crypto world and kind of how it's getting affected by the big news and what's going on. So thanks very much, and we'll check back in maybe next week or something.
Sure, glad to be here.